We live in a really, really strange time now where video games that are being released currently are absolute dog shit. And many people that were younger than me that didn't get to play the games that I played when I was growing up back in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, they're getting the opportunity to play these games now. These retro games now. They're actually retro because they're old games from 30 or 20 years ago. And they're actually better than most of the games that are being made now. Go figure. Because you know what? Back then, people wanted to do the right thing when it came to fans of video games, when it came to video games, period. They wanted to make video games that were simply fun because fun is what the word is about. Fun is what the experience is supposed to be. Fun is what a video game is supposed to be for people that play it. It's immersion in a world that we don't usually get to be in because it's a fantasy world. You are escaping the world of bullshit that you live in reality, and you're going to a non-reality where fantasy and fiction take over and it's fun. Games like this, they don't make games like this anymore. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I like the 2D style over 3D styles. Some of the 3D games like Tekken and now King of Fighters has gone 3D for a couple of years now. It does it justice. Street Fighter has done the same thing, but I like the 2D style of fighting. It's no wonder why so many people who play video games are going retro these days. What games do you have to look forward to now? Seriously. Look, I'm not here to shit on Dragon Age. Maybe I am a little bit, but it's a sad time when we live in current times where video games are terrible because everybody wants to put an agenda in a game instead of just telling a good story where people can enjoy it. That's what video games were about back in the day. Didn't matter about someone being black, white, because it doesn't matter how many fucking times I played a game as a white man. I still enjoyed the game. But did I enjoy games a little bit more when I got to play as me in the game where I get to make my own character? Of course. I love character customization. But that was never a problem for me when I watch movies, when I watch television or anything like that. I'm not gonna lie, there are some times when it gets oversaturated, but you know, a game is a game, and as long as it's fun, that's all that matters. Unfortunately, we're not having a lot of fun with games these days because there's too much agendas being pushed, gay agendas, interracial agendas, nonsense agendas. We're putting people who used to be men now as women, and women who used to be men now as men. It's just a fucking weird, flipped up reality that we live in. And it's a fucked up reality that we're living in that is now spanning over to video games and other form of media like movies, television shows, art forms. We want that shit out of what we call fiction because fiction is a reality that we live in when we don't want to immerse ourselves into a world we've never been in, a world we never probably will be in, only in the video game world. In reality, everything is shit. In video games, everything can be shit there as well, but we can make it right as the hero. So we don't need all these agendas being pushed in these video games that we love. I was so looking forward to playing Dragon Age because I wanted to finish the story with Sullus because to me, Dragon Age Origins is one of the best. I love that fucking game. I played it so many times. Being the warden and going through drinking the blood of the Darkspawn, that was one of the best scenes in that fucking game. The betrayal by Logain, excuse me, not Logan, Logain betrays you and everything, and then you have to go on a journey to get all these people to join the treaties and against the Blight, against the Darkspawn and all that. It was such an amazing journey. It's such an amazing game. Part two changed up the combat, but I still was there for it. I was still there for it. Dragon Age Inquisition came out, and that game was so fucking big that at first, when I first played it, I couldn't fuck with it because I'm like, I don't know if I could beat this game. There's too much shit going on. But I learned how to play that game and got through it as well. I was so looking forward to playing this new version, but now with all this politics that's in this game, I cannot do it. By far, the character customization is the part that really makes me mad. It's one of the issues that makes me mad. Character customization, it looked like they tried to add more things, but it's like more hair for girls more than guys. I mean, some people will complain that you can't make a woman with big boobs and a big ass, but that doesn't really matter to me because can I make a woman with big boobs and a big ass in Baldur's Gate? No, not really. Not that I know of because I played that game twice already. Not really, but that's never bothered me in a video game where fantasy, is key. And yes, you want your character to look the way you want your character to look. I understand that. Trust me, I'm all about creativity. But having a big ass and big boobs, I don't really give a shit about that. I wish it was an option, but I don't give a shit about that. I really don't. You know, I don't think you could make boobs bigger in the first one, the second, or the third. If you could in the third, I don't remember because I haven't played these games in a while. But I don't remember ever having that as an option really to begin with. But the thing that really pisses me off more than anything else is the fact that they say you could be whoever you want to be. If you could be whoever you want to be, you should be able to make whatever character you want to make. That is the problem that we're having with this particular game. And it was called Dragon Age Dreadwolf because that's what Solace is named after. He's the Dreadwolf. Now all of a sudden it's become the Veilguard because it's probably been taken over by someone else, of course, who used to be a man and is now a woman. They transitioned. Okay, that's just like the Matrix shit. Okay, so I'm not getting on that politic bullshit. I'm off that, but I really wanted to like this game. I really wanted to play this game, and now I don't really have any inkling to want to fucking finish the story. And I really wanted to finish it. I wanted to see how we're gonna deal with Sullus and how we're gonna stop him, but I can't not support this. I can't. And I don't like the way the Qunari look in this game. The Qunari look absolutely fucking ridiculous. They literally forgot how to make Qunari look like Qunari. Literally, it's just like a human being cosplaying as some kind of fucking mythical character, creature, or something. That's what it looks like. It doesn't even look like a Qunari. Qunari look threatening. All of them look threatening. Even when you make your character as good as you want your character to look in Dragon Age Inquisition, where we could start making Qunari in that game, was the first time we could make Qunari in the game at all. They looked way better than this. It's the art style. The art design is different than the previous art design. That's probably what it is. But that really annoys me. The way the Qunari look in this game annoy the fuck out of me. And when you have to interact with characters like this throughout the game, and you see characters that look like this when they didn't look like this before, it's off-putting. And it really is going to bother me if I play the game and see a Qunari and it looks like a fucking human pretend to be a mythical creature. Damn, man, I really, really want to fucking play this game. And then when I look at shit like this, it makes me like, you know what? I'm with everybody else. I really don't want to play it. There's a Dragon Age fan in me that wants to play this game to see it to the end because I just want to see how the story finishes. But there are so many factors in this. There's so much politics in this that makes me don't want to fuck with this game. Because if you can show people with their boobs cut off and show them having surgery and having to transition, you could be gay in this game. I mean, it's fantasy. I'm not gonna knock and say people can't be gay in fantasy. Of course, there's gonna be gay couples in fantasy. It's fantasy, goddammit. But at the same time, they're allowing more people of the alphabet community to have more freedom in this game than straight people. And that's the fucking issue that a lot of people are having with this particular outing in this particular offering of Dragon Age. That's the issue right here. You see how that was my Alexa, I'm sorry about that. You see how Iron Bull looks here? Let me zoom in. Let me zoom in how he looks here. Look at the detail in Iron Bull. Look at his face. That's what a Qunari looks like. They almost look demon-like. I think they're like dragon people or something like that. There's some type of mythical creature. I haven't played this game in a while, but I've played it a lot. But it's been a while since I've actually gotten into it again. But look at the detail on Iron Bull's face, okay? That's what a Qunari is supposed to look like. A Qunari is supposed to look like a threatening figure. They're gonna fucking take your head off because they're warriors. That's what they are, okay? Take a look at the Qunari from Dragon Age 2. Very threatening, aren't they? Very fucking threatening. You had to fight these Qunari at Act 3, I believe, because they were stuck in the city, okay? They got shipwrecked and they stayed in the city. They were getting aggravated because they were around humans. They couldn't stand the way humans were acting. The Arishok, who I think he's called the Arishok, the one that was in charge of them, the main commander, was always talking about the Qun, which is the code that they live by. Now you take a look at this. You take a look at this and you can see why people are not happy. To be fair, you can make your own character. But at the same time, they're going 9 times out of 10, most of these Qunari are looking just like this. Human faces. They don't look human in the other games. They look like mythical, warrior-like creatures because that's what the fuck they are. They're threatening. You'd not want to run into one of them and have them tackle the fuck out of you. They're basically, you know how Mass Effect has Rex? You know, those particular characters, Rex. What the fuck I'm fucking up right now. But those characters in Mass Effect are what Qunari are to Dragon Age. Okay? This does not look like a threat. This looks like some fucking fantasy Disney Fortnite bullshit. That's what this looks like. So, like I said, when people go in to play retro games, they're going back in time because the current times that we have video games in, they're making characters ugly. Most of the time, the men are still looking handsome. The women, for some reason, they hate women. They want to make women look like shit. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Even the women in this game look like shit. I'm not going to go all into it, but they look like shit. I don't want to romance any of them. I don't even want to romance Harding, okay? And she might be the most decent looking one out of all of the females I've seen in this fucking game. The Asian chick that's an elf, she looks absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. I really don't want to shit all over the game because I know developers who worked on this game probably worked their ass off to make this game as good as they could make it because they were told to make it a certain way. But if this is what we can expect if we have another Mass Effect game, please leave Mass Effect the fuck alone. We already saw a preview of that in 2017 with Andromeda. I'm one of the biggest Mass Effect fans, like other people who say they're one of the biggest. I love that fucking game. I got it late because it came out in 2007. I didn't play it till 2 years later in 2009 because it was around the same time when I got into Dragon Age. I happened to see that in the store and bought that in Dragon Age at the same time. Just in time for the next year in 2010 for Mass Effect 2 to come out. Went straight to Mass Effect 2 after I beat the first one. If this is what they're going to do with Mass Effect coming out, they said they're going to make another Mass Effect. Please don't make another Mass Effect unless somebody else who knows what they're doing can make it, because this is not going to work for fans. When you have a fan base like you do with Dragon Age, which is an extension of Dungeons and Dragons, which people love that shit for years. Since I was a little kid, people were playing Dungeons and Dragons. I even watched the cartoon when I was a kid. People have loved this particular medium for such a long time. You're going to shit on the fans and make this game more for people of the LGBT community, which they play games as well. I'm not disputing that. We got LGBT community people in the game. Dorian was one of my favorite people. And I'm not just saying that. He was one of my best friends in the game when I played through the first time in Dragon Age Inquisition. But if you're going to make this just for them to have their options and don't have the options the same way for people that are straight, this is the reason why people do not want to play Veilguard, which was originally called, like I said, the Dread Wolf. That was the original title for the next Dragon Age game, the Dread Wolf, which is Solus's name that he's known by. He called himself that at the end of Inquisition. But since it became Veilguard, it has become something different now. Just like with Matrix 4, we got something different, and it wasn't good in a good way. It was terrible. It was bad. Okay? They're doing the same thing with this game too. And that's why a lot of people who love Dragon Age are not going to play this game. They'd rather go back and play the trilogy again, especially go back and play Origins, because there's so much to do in that fucking game. You can do so many things like make Alistair the king. You can make yourself the king if you're a man. You can do so many fucking things. The DLC they have, oh my god, it's so much to do. So much to do. And Dragon Age 2 has that serial killer storyline, that was kind of interesting. Some people may say it's kind of stupid, but they had things to do in the other Dragon Age games. Okay? I don't know, man. I'm not even on the fence. It's just like, why would they go this route? I know the character design was probably made by someone else, but couldn't you try to do the same character design for the Qunari? That Qunari thing really pisses me off more than anything else. It really does. Anyway, that's just what I thought. I'm a fan of the Dragon Age medium, so I just wanted to put my 2 cents in. And for the 2 people that watch this, thank you very much. I only uploaded because it's my thoughts, and I wanted, just to put it out there. So if a lot of people didn't watch this, that's fine, but this is just what I thought about it. So until next time, I'll see you guys again. Take care of yourselves and keep gaming.